So, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Rock and Roll Brunch, episode number 20. We're at Egg Harbor Cafe in Barrington, Illinois.
He's right.
We're talking about our records of the year.
Record of the year.
That's it.
Chiming in ruined it. Just chiming in and saying, record.
I'm like a hype man.
Yeah, well, I appreciate that.
Like a hype man.
I'm like a hype man.
You got to add a little spice on the main course. You know what I mean?
I'm just kidding anyway.
I'm really enjoying this course. Anyway,
Snickerdoodle cocoa. Come on, let's go.
They think of everything.
Why didn't I get one of those?
you can.
Three
It's not
Snickerdoodle
too
I don't know
late.
if I can. I don't think. I think I might sharp if I do.
Sharp?
Just think about it. Just think about it for a second.
Shart?
Sharf.
Sharp. Oh, like accidentally throw up.
It's a
that's
mix
yarp.
of. It's a.
No, Chris, that's
It's
yarp.
a mix. It's a mix of.
Oh, both ways. I get it.
Either way.
Both.
One thing either way, and the other thing
Both are not great.
both one way or another.
Well, we're here. We're doing episode number 20. We are live in person together,
You
gentlemen.
should smack your lips together more while you talk. Well, we're here, and
I don't know why.
No,
We have a camera behind us. Wave to the camera, everybody.
we got a camera there.
You got a camera
Camera
there. Ashton, where is he?
Wait, quick question. Do we have to be worried about the music playing and
Oh, for sure.
copyright?
No, not for
Well, on
copyright.
YouTube, we probably do.
If we comment on it, it's fair use.
That's not how
It
fair
trans-
use works.
Yeah.
Falls under parody laws.
Listen, I happen to teach fair use also.
Now,
That's not how
let me
it
ask you
works.
the question: if we sing portions of every song, is it under parody law?
I would say if we change some of the words
Okay, great.
and make it about brunch,
It's the most
Most wonderful
brunch of the year.
Most wonderful brunch of the year. This could be the most wonderful brunch of the year.
That's true.
Actually,
That's
this
true.
could be the. Well, anyway, here we are. Dane, how are you feeling this morning, buddy?
I'm a little more tired than I think I expected to be.
Yeah,
Really?
you came in pretty cold.
It's like a cold fish.
Got slap the meat together. That was terrible.
Chris, how are you today?
Well,
Say slap the meat together?
when you're like you.
No.
No,
You're done. You're done. You're done.
I'm doing all right. Al woke up 3 times last night.
Nice.
Which was great, super rad.
Really good.
Then I
Is it
didn't have.
normal, like a lot of waking up these days.
We moved her to a big kid bed, and so she's not a child that needs more freedom in her life, and so she has decided that that means like getting up out of bed to come say hi to us. Which,
Somehow, Maby's not doing that.
is she in a big kid bed?
Oh yeah, she's been in a big kid bed for almost a year.
Oh wow.
She just she'll sit in her bed and be like we have this little wake up light, and for some reason it works with her where it didn't with our other kids.
Yeah.
And she's like,
Oh, the wake up light?
yeah, she's like, Mama, Daddy, Boo Green, and I'm like, because it's an owl, and I'm like,
Boo-hoo green?
Yeah. So she has been waking up way earlier than that, hence the wanting to reschedule it for this week.
Sure.
But yeah, we don't have to deal with the middle of the night.
Look at this.
Though, and that's
Yeah.
come on, hit it on the table, man.
It's a magic
No big
trick.
deal. Just
All right.
smack it on the table.
Sorry, podcast listeners.
Yeah, there you go.
There you go. All right.
If you didn't put sugar in your
no.
coffee.
And then it just pours out.
Wait, you put one of these in
Yeah,
your
two.
coffee?
Yeah, it wasn't enough.
2 of them.
It tasted like a little salty.
How are you doing this morning, Josh?
I'm well. My kids also wake up, both of them, all night long. I don't count it, so that's good.
But they've
coffee.
been always waking up. That's why you don't count it.
Yeah.
You guys are still at that place where like it hasn't quite gotten better. Yeah, you especially. You're about to turn a corner because like school and stuff. Like Henry's still waking up over and over again and bugging you, and not just
Less. I would say less.
because I feel like at a certain point, like with school, like they wake up, but then they'll just walk back to bed on their own, or you can walk them back to bed and they'll actually stay.
See, that's what I always walk her back, and then she doesn't stay. Although last night was an anomaly. The couple nights before that, a few nights before that, she woke up once. I walked her back, and then she was in there because we got one of those lights as well. The last night
Yeah,
was not one
it's
of those
hard.
nights.
I think people are really interested in this conversation.
That's probably true.
Yeah,
So-
well, dad life.
Dad life.
Dane, I had a question for you.
Yeah.
We've been talking about quantity versus quality in your coffee. What is your to get the most quantity in your body? What is your coffee making process?
You know, I have. So we had a really old coffee maker. No, it wasn't really old. But we had it for about a decade or something.
A decade.
Yeah, I mean, it was like an
That's
old,
pretty old.
grody
That's
top.
pretty old for a coffee
I mean,
maker.
yeah, and it wasn't clean really anymore, and so we leveled up like about a year ago, a little less than a year ago, and we got one with like a Keurig and like a traditional
that's what
like
I'm looking at.
built-in.
I'm looking at that one.
Yeah, and it's great.
Yeah.
Because the Keurig, I don't think it does pods really well, but it's got a reusable. I always like using the reusable ones instead of buying pods.
Yeah, because it literally just fills up a landfill forever.
So, yes. Well, but also, like, it just, I don't know, sometimes it doesn't make great coffee. So
No, it never makes
doesn't
good
give
coffee.
you a lot of
Never
control and stuff. So what I do is, like, if I wake up really early in the morning, that allows me to have one quick cup, but not have, like, make a whole
Get in
pot
your
that
body.
gets burnt,
Yeah,
you know?
Yeah.
Then I'll make another pot with like 4 cups or so, like 2 actual cups with 4 metric or measuring cups, which fills up my travel mug. So
This
like,
might have been too much detail.
yeah, I know. But on a normal day, like I have a coffee maker that's set for me to like get
Did you
quick
fix?
hit. Huh? Yeah, a quick fix in right away when I wake up if I need to, and then another one by the time like automatically
The
scheduled.
jolt and then the slow burn.
And then there's a Keurig at work too that's on my hands, but it's the only coffee I can get.
Interesting.
Yeah. So it's just like, I think like on a normal day I'm drinking, like when we talk about cups like a mug,
Yeah.
I'm drinking like 4 or 5 cups a day.
That's a lot of coffee.
Is it?
I mean, for me,
I feel like I'm encroaching on that. I feel like I'm in the. I used to be one, and now I'm easily 3. Like I do like 2 in the morning and then 1 in the afternoon.
Oh.
that's my bag, except my 1 in the afternoon is a monster.
Oh, see, that's unhealthy.
Don't. A guy can't have
You
any
can come on
vices.
over. Yeah, we're ready to order.
Yeah.
Yeah?
This is
Okay.
it.
What can I get you guys?
I will do the traditional breakfast with meat.
Yeah. How would you like your eggs?
Over easy, please.
And then your choice of meat?
We'll go with bacon.
Bacon.
Yeah, and then can I do a side of pancakes?
Yeah, do you want that in place of your English muffin or potatoes?
Yeah, sure.
Which one?
The muffin. We'll do the muffin, yeah.
Dane?
I'm gonna do the down home biscuits and gravy.
Down home biscuits and
Yeah.
gravy.
How would you like your eggs?
Scrambled. And could I get them on the side, please?
Yeah, they won't come
Okay, cool.
I'll do traditional breakfast,
Yeah.
regular. Over medium. Yeah. And then can I get the potatoes crispy?
Yeah.
Perfect. And then is that jam? Is that like grape jam or is that
We
like
do have grape jam. Otherwise, our house jam is strawberries, blueberries, and blackberries.
Oh, I'm gonna give it a shot.
Yeah?
Yeah.
If not, I'll get you some other jam.
Cool.
Yeah?
Yeah.
All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Of course. And then do you need syrup or butter on the side for your pancakes?
Syrup would be great.
Syrup?
You know what? Can I just do butter on the English muffin?
Yeah, it'll come butter.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thanks so much.
Anyway, coffee.
Coffee. Yeah.
On a weekend, I'll fill my coffee maker's carafe or whatever
Carafe.
that thing is called just up.
Yeah. And then
That's
just
about
Just tip it.
I'll
that's
tip it
about
up.
5.
all
That's
the way
a
up,
one
all the
day.
way up, all the way down.
Yeah.
That's a 1 day.
Bottoms
cup.
up on that.
That's so like on a Sunday, like on a today, if I wasn't here,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sundays are nice for coffee.
I'd be drinking a whole pot.
Well, let's hop into the show. I think because we have a big discussion today, gentlemen.
Honestly, I don't think that today's gonna be that big.
I think we're gonna fight a little bit, which I'm.
We're
which I'm
definitely gonna
excited-
fight a
Which
I
I'm
don't think
excited
we
about.
will. I have a prediction. You know
Okay.
what?
Okay.
Anyone
Well,
have
let
a
me.
piece of paper?
Okay.
This
Yeah,
one?
yeah. This is great. This is great. Wait.
I'll need a pen. Anyone got a pen?
Here. Why don't you do this?
I got chapstick.
Put it in your phone.
Put it in your phone. Just write it down on your phone. I'm gonna do the
I have a
same.
prediction.
I'm
I know
gonna do the
exactly
same.
You're
what
gonna
we
call
all will agree.
He's
Okay.
gonna.
I'm gonna do the same. I'm
It's going
I'm
to
opening
be-
up a new. I'm opening up a new note on my
too.
phone, and I'm typing.
This is what we
what
should have
I
done
think
beforehand.
it's going to be.
No, it's better live.
So today, we are we're going to be going over every record we reviewed this year
And re-review.
and re-reviewing them painstakingly. No, we are. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
We are going to be picking our top 3 of the year and whittling that down to the Rock and Roll Brunch Record of the Year. You know, I think high overview. What I was really, I think, most excited about is the fact that
I can't
we
believe we
reviewed
talked about this
so
many records.
this past year.
Yeah.
And not even a full year
Yeah.
of shows, because we started in March or February or whatever.
Yeah.
But I mean, we reviewed like a ton of records.
Yes. I mean, we talked every 2 weeks for an entire year, which we've never done. Even when we had the
No.
old rock and roll brunch,
No.
it was like once a month, maybe.
Well-
Or it was once a month, maybe sometimes twice a month.
And what's really great is, so we're on episode number 20. I think iteration number 1 only went to 25, which we're gonna hit in no time
Yeah,
at
we're
all.
about to
And we're
eclipse.
gonna just right past that.
That's funny.
That is
So-
funny.
All right. Well, I think
wants to go
it got a lot
first?
quieter. It got a lot quieter all of a sudden, and I feel like we have to adjust our volume to match that.
That's all right.
You're always
you
just a
go.
little-
I know. I'm
You
so
go
loud.
first. You never
You go first.
I'm me.
Yeah, you.
I'll pick your
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. I guess I'm going first. All right.
So what's the prompt is pick
okay.
your
So
top 3
So I want top 3 in.
honorable mentions.
It doesn't have to be in any particular order, by the way. Just your top 3 of the year. If you have an order, fine. No particular order. And then we're talking about an honorable mention, which is it doesn't make your top 3, but just something you really enjoyed or surprised you or whatever.
I think half the year is honorable mentions, but
Maybe.
yeah.
Okay, my top 3 of the year, and I'm going to open up my phone back up. Okay, I'm going to start with Red City Radio Paradise.
Okay.
Wait, now hold on.
I know. See, we're already fighting.
Yeah.
That was going to be on my list.
That's
I think
fine.
it can be on all
we can
of
have
them.
the same.
But it's not from this year. It came out before.
No, it's
No, I know, but
it's
records we
our
reviewed.
We reviewed
But
this
I
year.
didn't think about that when I made my list.
Well,
That's a silly thing.
But
to
I
think.
sent you the
He
list.
sent a list. Of
But I
stuff.
so that was my like Christmas like shopping record last
You
year.
know what? I kind of had a similar thought where I was like, did we? That felt like it came out forever ago.
It did. It came out like in 2020.
Yeah.
Fine, keep going. Just
Wow.
disqualified.
Already fighting about
Dane
it.
already thinks it should be disqualified.
Okay, so let's qualify and say that it's records we reviewed this year. Now, 2021 is going to be. I'm sorry, 2022 is going to be different because we'll start the year fresh. We'll do that. You know.
I'm gonna guess your next 2.
Go ahead. It's pretty easy.
Yeah. Dirty Nil
Yeah.
and Free Throw.
Yeah. Hell yeah. Let me take a quick sec. Dirty Nil, fuck art, and free throw.
What's funny is I wrote F art to try and be fast
No,
about it,
no.
and then that just said fart.
I've just been staring
Fart.
at that word on the list this
Just said,
entire
I
time.
wrote it and it just said fart, and then I had to put a hyphen in there to make it not.
Free throw, piecing it together. Those are going to be my top 3 for the year.
What about those 3 stand out for you?
Yeah. So, real super quick. I'm already a Red City Radio fan, so that was not a challenge. But for
Arguably
them,
the best Red City radio.
But for
record.
them, you know, their record before this was not my favorite, and then Paradise came out, and it was like everything I wanted and more, and it reaffirmed my fandom for that band.
I'm gonna chime in here because
Yeah, please
it's
do.
not on my list because it didn't come out this year. But
Are you reviewing it now?
no, I just want to.
I didn't know he was such a stickler for the rules.
He's a journalist.
I just want to say that I feel like Red City Radio is a band that, like, when they burst onto the scene with their first EPs and their first full length, they had a really defined sound. Not
Yeah.
a lot of bands sounded like them, and then like everyone
Kinda
caught
caught
up
up
with
to them, yeah.
I feel like their most recent, they shot ahead again.
Yeah, I
In
agree.
that particular like gunky sounding, like alt country, like pop punk
Yeah.
kind of vibe. Like they are just in a universe of
Couldn't
their own.
couldn't
now.
agree more. I actually totally
You
agree.
know, and I really think the thing that brought it to the next level was this inclusion of solos that rip in songs that, like, you could have done
Yeah.
all of these songs without guitar solos, and then especially Paradise, that song specifically Paradise, where it just like it takes the song to a whole different place, and it's guitar solos like that are, you see them in Bad Religion, and then they don't stop anywhere else in the pop punk, you know, on the pop punk train, and then
Well,
they show up.
I wouldn't even call that record pop punk. I mean,
No,
it-
but
yeah,
it-
fair
but it-
enough.
it's like I don't even know what you would call. I don't even know
But
what
I
you would
feel
call
like
it.
what it is I feel like it falls into that domain in a weird way, because there's nothing pop punk about it except for it's recorded really clean,
Yeah.
and it's got riffs for days, and it's on pure noise.
Yeah.
I think that plays a role in it, you know.
I think that they're in the next phase of being a band, and I'm here for it. So, Dirty No Fuck Art is a band that I would have totally missed had it not been for this show. Same thing with Free Throw, actually, to be honest. But I am a pure Dirty No fan. I plan on seeing them as soon as I possibly can. There's a show coming up with what's his face, Brian Fallon.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's going to happen now because actually I follow them on Instagram. They just canceled their tour.
Yeah. Like a lot of tours.
So a lot of things are starting to cancel thanks Omicron. Anyway, like I'm a legit like I know that they switched their bass player just shortly after we reviewed the record, and they've been anyway. I'm a legitimate fan. If I had to pick one, that's going to be my record of the year, Josh Marcanti record of the year. And then Free Throw, piecing it together, is another band that I totally would have missed had it not been for this show, and like reaffirmed my love of the genre. And like, here's a band doing something like.
Do you call it emo or pop punk? I feel like you would call it emo.
I would feel.
No?
That's a beef I want to talk about.
Okay. I don't know what I would call
beefing.
it. I would have. I don't know what I would call it. I would have been close to emo. I mean, we.
Well, I would call it emo too.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Beautiful. Perfect. Thanks so much.
Like,
Someone take my eggs before I die.
toss half of that on Chris's and half of that on
And we
mine,
move it. Or you just.
or just all on Chris's, and
There
you
you
can
go. Yeah,
dish
yeah,
it
yeah.
out. Dane's splitting the eggs. After the last episode, by the way, I'm convinced, Dane, that you need to Allegra up before, and then let's give it a shot live on the show.
Live on the show.
That doesn't feel.
Then I can stab somebody with an EpiPen.
No, definitely not.
It's all I wanted to do.
I don't know, like Midwest emo, like I don't know what you would call
They're
that.
from Nashville.
Well, but
That's
South?
technically
Is that Midwest?
Isn't it?
Tennessee is not part of the Midwest.
You sure?
Right? I don't know. Anyway, those are my three. I think if there's some overlap, which I'm going to assume there is, then we might have found some stuff.
Do you have
to
an honorable
discuss.
mention?
Let's do honorable mentions at the end.
Okay.
Okay. Let's go.
I want Dane Train.
Let's go Dane Train. Yeah, awesome.
Okay. I did order mine.
Of course.
Like,
Can you do 3, 2, 1?
yeah, I'll do 3, 2, 1. 3 is Sincere Engineer.
That's interesting.
Yeah, well, honestly, a lot of, like, my reasoning came along with, like which one had a lot of staying power? Like, which one did I keep going back to and
Mine too.
listening to?
Yeah.
And I don't know, like, I think we joke around about, like, female singers and stuff in here, although maybe it's not a joke, I don't know.
It's not a joke.
I know.
I'm not trying to hurt feelings out here. But
I know, but,
I ain't out here hurting feelings.
like, honestly, that record just, like, hits a lot of areas of music that I like. It could get really quiet and sincere and painful.
Mm-hmm.
It could also get, it's just some of the best punk kind of stuff. And to be honest, not to throw genre labels around, like, on my way here, I listened a lot to just kind of went back through that Free Throw record. And granted, my drive was 10 minutes, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I went through like 3 or 4 of those songs, and then I went right to Sincere Engineer, and I was like, this one feels more emo to me. More
Sincere?
stripped down and honest and emotional.
Sincere Engineer feels
yes,
more
it
emo
does. I don't want to label that record anything. 'Cause
Yeah, I don't know if I would label it emo, but
I think I probably would. I think
it doesn't matter what you would call it anyway.
Yeah,
I
for
guess
sure.
what I mean is that it's raw, it's emotional.
Very raw.
Very.
She's such a good singer. It's not like she's scrambling to hit notes. Like, the songs are catchy as hell, and it's really dynamic. as well.
very, very dynamic. Very, very
Because
dynamic.
there's a song that'll be like a quiet acoustic song, right next to a ripper.
Right.
So
Or like a song that starts pretty down and then builds to something, pretty.
Gentlemen, I'll be back with some extra napkins, but is everything okay?
Excellent.
Good.
fantastic. Thank you.
So, oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say, I think of the records of this year, while not on my list, was probably the most surprising to me.
Aren't we saving that for later? Or you're jumping the gun here?
Great.
Are we gonna...
Great.
You're jumping the
Great.
gun. Well, that can be on his list now.
Great.
Thank you so much.
Great.
Fair enough.
Great. Great. Great.
And I think the thing is I've been a fan of this band for, a few years now, and this one still sort of surprised me. Like, I wasn't quite sure if they, as a band, would be kind of continuing in the direction where they started, and they did, but they also made a more intense record, so...
Well, I'm really glad you brought them up to us. I think that one definitely changed my opinion about like female singers.
Why?
And by the way,
Let's talk about it for 2 minutes.
Let's not.
And then by
Let's
the way,
not talk
by the
about
way,
it. It's gonna make me mad.
She's the exclusion. No, let's talk about
I
it.
feel like I
Let's
really
talk about
started
it.
rooting for them too.
Yeah, me too.
They're on tour with opening with the men singers.
Oh, they have another tour coming up.
With Hot Mulligan. Yeah, and you're just like, go. You know what I mean? Like, here's a great band that gets an opportunity to really do it. I feel like that doesn't happen often.
I feel like they're also like Chicago.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
They are a very Chicago sound.
I don't know, like, how suburban they are, but there's something suburban about them, too. Like, it doesn't... They feel like they could have come out of our scene.
Oh,
Do you know what I mean? Like,
100%.
as if there was a scene that existed now.
Yeah.
I mean, that does feel like a band that, like, when we were growing up, though, could have been playing the Warped Skate Park
For
or, like,
sure.
the VFW Hall in Arlington Heights or, like, the Clearwater or whatever.
That's a great point.
you gotta find this suburban scene.
I want to make it.
I know we talked about this.
Have to make a suburban scene. Kids, come on out and let's play some guitar music.
I'm almost 40, guys.
Let me tell you my second choice, which is Bronx 4. Oh, wait, Bronx... You wrote 4, but
Yeah.
it's actually Bronx 6, right?
Is it? Oh,
I think
I think you wrote for it.
I did write 4 because I had 4 in my notes from the show, which is also rock.
It also...
I need a carafe of coffee.
Okay. It is also not a record that I think hits one genre cleanly. I think it's a weird, like, bridge between...
I knew
like,
Bronx would be on your list.
Yeah, it's a weird bridge between, like, heavy music, maybe not hardcore, but, like, heavy music, and kind of, like, cheesy, poppy, like, classic rocky kind of
For
stuff.
sure.
Yeah.
Kind of schlock rocky a little bit.
A little bit, but it's self-aware enough that I can enjoy it.
Yeah.
Wait. Was it self-aware?
I think so.
No.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it knew full well
Okay,
that
okay.
it was. I mean, it's,
I don't have my phone, but there's one song in particular that was like, all right, they wrote this riff, and then they wrote an entire song around that riff.
I hope that if it's self-aware, that does change my opinion about them a little bit,
In a bad or a good way?
in a good way.
Don't you know about Mariachi El Bronx?
Yeah. Okay, that's fair. Yeah.
That's about as self-aware
Yeah.
as you can
Possibly.
get, right? Like, so like these guys, I think they know that they are playing something that feels a little bit like they could be on.
Let me
like
get a dip with
on
them, but
Go for it, man.
yeah.
All right,
You're a reacher.
on the gravy train here.
You're a reacher.
The Gravy Dane train.
The Gravy Danger. Yet another clip that should be a ringtone.
On the gravy train.
I'm on the Gravy train.
You on the Gravy?
Every time you get a text.
Whenever Dane texts, I'm on the Gravy train.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry, go ahead.
No, I guess I kind of feel like that record, you know, the way I thought about it on the way here, and this excluded a couple of other records that I was kind of considering. But if I were watching that band play live, instead of just sort of like nodding,
I know what you mean.
thoughtfully along to the music,
Yeah.
you know, with my arms crossed, classic Midwestern
Beanie on
like,
top.
Yeah.
Approving?
Yeah,
Yeah.
classic Chicago style fan
Totally.
behavior.
Totally.
I feel like I wouldn't be able to not move around.
Yeah.
That's
Do you know what I'm
a really
saying?
good point. You would be like,
I'm approaching
Holy
40.
shit.
I'm approaching 40, and I would be like, I would be just stomping around,
Yeah,
man.
for sure.
So, just so many good songs. They're catchy. They're heavy. It fits in the realm of punk music pretty squarely, but it also could have an entire like Guitar Hero franchise like video game about it. And I don't know. Like to me, I think in some contexts like that could be schlocky and dorky, but for some reason it doesn't feel that way to me. So,
interesting.
okay. Can you guess my number one?
It's gonna be birthday.
It's going to be Rise Against.
Oh, we are the nowhere generation.
It's Every Time I Die.
Whoa.
So, really quick, Rise Against, I still like that album a lot.
Is if it's not going to be an honorable mention, you can speak. But if it's going to be an honorable
It's
mention,
not going to be an honorable mention. Well, I mean, but like that Descendants record. There's some really great songs in that
For
one.
sure.
And it's a whole album, not, just not something I need to have in my
you're
collection.
putting that in the same category
In
as
your
Rise
life.
as Rise
No,
Against.
no, I guess what I'm saying is there's things on this list that I like a lot. Callie Mossy is another great example.
Yeah.
I just bought that record on vinyl.
Right. Like, the Rise Against album, like, really hit at the right time for me. And it was the right kind, like, what I wanted from Rise Against.
Interesting.
It felt to me like a return to form
I couldn't agree more.
that I was kind of waiting for. But it also, like, when Rise Against returns to form, it's not really as new or exciting. either.
I think what I discovered about Rise Against is I think I just maybe don't like Rise Against.
There you go.
You know what I mean? Like, if that's
Like
their
after Summer and the Witness, you're like, I'm out.
yeah, like if that's their return to form, I'm bored.
enough.
I'm bored. I'm
For
out.
sure, for sure.
And I
think that was his point, which is effectively like when they do
I
it.
wouldn't say I'm bored, but I'm just saying like Bad Religion probably wouldn't be my top album of 2019, even though like of all the like that's probably my only album from 2019 that's still in my library.
For sure.
You know what I
I wonder
mean?
what is your if that's the case. Oh, never mind.
Like
Continue. Yeah.
it's comfort food.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
That's what I mean.
Right.
I see what you're okay. Yeah.
It's not boring, but it's not blowing my mind. Every Time I Die blew my mind. Right?
Fuck you.
And so, I just feel like that album, like every time I listen to it, there's something new to like.
There's
about
new.
it.
There's like your brain and ear pick out new things where you're like, oh my god.
And I think that's maybe part of the problem. Is that when they launched this like pre-order, I remember feeling overwhelmed by like, why do you need 26 variants of vinyl? And then I was like, maybe it's not 26, I don't know.
No, it is. I mean,
It was a lot.
At least a dozen.
And then when that record came out, I'm like, wow, I love this. Holy cow, there's a lot here. Like every song just kind of feels like a different kind of punch or kick in the face. Maybe an elbow in the face, one of them.
Yeah.
You know?
Yep.
And then the more you listen to them, the more you're like, whoa, that's a cool riff. And then like, well, that's a good breakdown. Whoa, they really picked the momentum up here. Whoa, check, this guy is pissed off. He just swore a lot of times in a row.
Yeah.
And those were the only lyrics of that.
This is
particular
sweary boy,
part.
huh?
Does this song even have a chorus? Hold on, I'm gonna listen to like
Yeah.
it just like as an exercise in like thinking about music and trying to understand music but then also just being able to let go of all of that and rock out. This one kind of has both of them. So
Yeah.
I was thinking a lot about like what would this be my favorite album of the year period. And I don't think so, but it would be in like the top 3 maybe or top 5 for sure.
Interesting.
Like outside of rock and roll brunch.
Yes,
Yeah.
outside of rock and roll.
That's why you asked. Because I'm interested in that question too, quite frankly. But
If we
But
have
it would
the
take
time,
it would
which
take
we
a little
currently
more.
do, we certainly could discuss.
It would take a little bit of like to really break that down, like my top 5 or top 3.
Yeah.
It would take some intentional like stop and think and really even plan it out. But I could rattle off some off the top of my head. Would you hand me a napkin, please?
yeah,
I'm gonna blow my nose on the air here.
Chris,
my favorite.
where are we at, buddy?
Hold it up.
It's just gonna be really annoying. I have to warn my students every time I blow my nose because they jump.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
startling.
Yeah,
It's a
because
startling
it's
noise.
Oh my god. Dane, I'm not
Are you
even-
using your mouth? Is that all nose?
Dane,
It's all nose.
Dane, I'm not even joking. There's a woman behind you who just went.
That's somebody.
My grandfather.
Yeah.
blew his nose the same
My
way.
grandfather.
And I'm feeling more and more like him the older I get,
Oh my god.
for better and for worse.
I remember like my dad would blow his nose like that, and I'd be like, oh, he's awake.
Yeah.
Wake up, dad's up.
Oh, he's still awake.
Dad's up.
He heard me come in the house.
Oh, shit.
Anyway, Chris.
Yeah. You know what? I don't know how much more I'm going to add to this conversation. But
Okay.
Let's break it down for us, brother.
Brother.
Brother man, you know what's funny? I
brother.
used to have Red City Radio Paradise on the list, but I want to move it off based on Dane's qualifications
Fair.
because I want to make room for other things, quite
Fair.
frankly.
Wait. Okay.
Logical.
again, this is
Thank you so much.
Listen,
Thank you very much.
hold on. I'm gonna take those hash browns. What are we doing
Yeah,
here?
of course.
What game are we
Can't
playing?
waste them.
Here's a guy that said, I'm not really hungry today. I know he's stealing food from
That's
places.
how I am too.
Once you see it,
the smell,
it's
yeah,
just
it's
me,
game
I gotta
over.
eat it all.
Yeah, for sure.
And then I was wondering, is one check okay, or do you want separate checks?
we can do one.
One?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Guys, I can pay for my own food. I know I'm a teacher, but I can afford my $11.
He's on a teacher's salary.
We can just
Yeah, then pay for our breakfast.
fine. Okay, let's do it.
No.
Let's do it. I'm fine with it.
No. It's
Great.
the only way we can give back to the education system.
Oh my God. Is it?
Well, we can put a few bodies into it, and then
I don't
children.
know what that
Children.
The worst
Put some
possible
bodies.
way.
Put some bodies into
That's
the
the worst
education.
possible way.
Into Dane?
So I'm going to take Red City Radio off my list.
Are we taking Red City Radio off the list then?
No.
Okay, then I don't. Then
Yeah.
then nothing means anything.
That's right. I'm gonna say all three of them because I think we've talked about it. Definitely free throw for sure.
That wasn't even on your list.
I'm
No,
gonna
but it's
fight
on
you
yours.
guys on that one. I didn't think we'd be fighting, but I'm gonna fight you guys on that one.
Wow. Bronx 6 and every time I die.
Oh,
I think dipping right into honorable mentions. We Are the Union.
wait, I want to pause before we move to different mentions. Do you have the same reasoning that Dane had for Bronx 6?
Absolutely. It's a band that like I didn't ever listen to before.
Right.
And like listening to that record made me realize I made a mistake by not listening to the Bronx. And now I'm like in the Bronx ecosystem where like I follow them on Instagram and all that stuff. And
You're a fan.
the more content I see from them, the more I'm like, these guys, they do this and there's in my mind they're like a harder rock and roll hold steady where like some of it's just
that's a
it's
nice way
just
to
some of
frame
it is just like amelodic and super fun because it's amelodic. Where like you're like the music is not matching the vocals, and that makes it super cool. But that's why.
There is no rush with this. I'm just dropping it off for when you guys are ready.
Oh, thank you.
Of course. Do you think you'll want any cups for coffee to go? Or any water while you're
You know
here?
what? Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah, we got
I'll bring
enough.
some.
Let's not waste it.
Yeah.
For sure.
2 cups?
I don't need one to go. I'm
No.
good.
Just two then, yeah.
2? Okay,
Yeah,
I'll
thank
that.
It's just a record that took me by surprise, and not that a lot of these didn't, but I was like, it feels like concrete, where you're like, you can't. This thing is solid. You can't bust it up all that much. Like it is what it is. It gave you what you wanted out of it,
Yes.
and it really surprised me.
Yeah, go ahead.
What's that? You
It's,
know?
I didn't. It's funny to hear how much you guys loved the Bronx, and like, I still feel like it didn't. Thank you. very
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Like it didn't cement itself in my brain the way that it did for you guys. Like I haven't gone back to it, to be honest with you, even since we reviewed
There's
it.
some awesome riffs
I
going on.
guess I
There's
probably
awesome-
need to, but like I've gone to Fuck Art almost weekly since we reviewed it.
I haven't touched it.
Oh, I've legitimately gone back into their catalog. Anyway, so it's just interesting to hear you guys talk
Yeah,
about the Bronx.
I think
in such
for
a
the.
way.
I think Every Time I Die definitely takes the #1 seed for me. It's like Every Time I Die, Free Throw, and then Bronx. But Every Time I Die, that goddamn record is just so. And then it keeps going. Where you're like, what song am I on right now? Is this 4
The
or
thing that's
20?
weird. The thing that's weird about it too is like, so much of it feels like they're just in a group and they're doing their thing, and it feels very homogenous sometimes. Like the song sound could be the second song and the,
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't even know if I agree with that, but continue.
Well,
yeah.
but then when you stop and really think about it, it doesn't either. Like, I guess what I mean is like their songs feel very piecemeal. Like it doesn't return to a chorus super often. So like in that way, when you kind of look back and think of that record, it feels like a bunch of parts.
It's 100 guitar parts and vocal parts.
And across how many songs? Like 12 or
Yeah.
14. So, but then like there's some songs on there too that have totally like unique identities and
I
like
agree,
total
yeah.
grooves
Oh,
and total.
Planet Shit is like, it's like a song of the year for me. Like, like it like it finds this spot in the song that just like
I just think I
powers
understand
up.
it,
Yeah.
but from an outsider, just breaking into like 1 second
I'm
of a drum
waffling
part.
it. It's a luffle. It's a luffle move. You gotta
Just
luffle it
1
with it.
second.
Can I fully explain to you with my mouth this drum part?
One part because it's great.
Maybe a gesture.
Listen
if I need
closely.
it to.
Yeah, I think it was just it really. I've been looking for something really hard.
Yeah.
And
Oh, yeah.
Keith Buckley's we talked about this on the show, but Keith Buckley's vocals are
Uh-huh.
just this thing that you go like, great. It like
Yeah.
sinks into your brain, into this open pocket, and your brain feels whole when you listen to it. And it's just definitely. And then I think maybe I mentioned this before, but that guitar player,
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
he's like a caricature
Oh my
of
God.
what a human being should look like.
Yeah.
Andy Williams? No,
Something like that.
Nobody knows.
he's a wrestler.
Yeah,
He quit
he's the
every
man
time
we
I
all
die.
aspire to be.
For real.
He looks like there was a character, like a recurring character on like 90s sitcoms. Oh, he was the guy who played Booger in The Nerds?
For
Like he
sure.
reminds me of that guy.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Honorable
Not
mention.
Booger. Not Booger. The like big angry guy.
Yeah, I know who you're talking about.
Ogre.
Ogre. Thank you. I said Booger. I was so close.
Come on.
Sue me.
Let's go right into honorable mentions.
All right, go for it.
My honorable mention, I think, is going to be "We Are the Union," "Ordinary Life."
Whoa.
Yeah, it just. Did you say boo?
Close.
Boo. It was in a year full of things that like I kind of kept looking for something slightly different.
Literally like the opposite ends of the spectrum.
Yeah.
Kind of, yeah.
But in the year that I kind of kept looking for things slightly different, which is why I think if we're outside of this list as well, I put Angels and Airwaves Life Forms on like top albums of the year because it's
Tried it, did nothing for me.
We Are the Union and that there's just something that goes like, this is extra. This is the thing you know you want, but it's also a thing you don't know you like or you may not like.
I have an album like that
Oh.
on my top 5 of the year list.
Yeah, and I want you to talk about it, but you kind of actually pressured me on that a little bit. We were talking about like, let's
give me
write
this
music.
pressure. Don't give me this pressure.
Let's write music, and you're like, what's new? Like, what would you be trying to say? And like a handful, Every Time I Die is kind of like that. Certainly the Bronx aren't really, but We Are the Union is one of these albums that like it's just slightly different. It's like the ska thing. It feels like I'm gone.
Bye.
Let me
record.
pick this up. It feels like they're obviously a ska punk band that in some ways was not trying to write ska punk, but couldn't help themselves.
But then ended up writing songs that feel so much bigger than the genre that they're in.
I agree with that. I agree with that. Yeah.
And you're like, this is just it's the thing you know you want, but it's got something extra to it that goes like, I don't know if I like it, but then all of a sudden it turns into
Yeah,
this-
I think what you're talking about is that like how it expands the genre a little bit. That ska punk genre. They're
sure.
doing new things. They are.
And here's the thing
they
that's
are
interesting
expanding
too.
that genre.
They may have been expanding it a little bit musically. It feels like they were expanding it in another way. And it does, maybe it's the whole like being open about one's gender identity kind of thing. Maybe it's something else. That record does feel like they opened the door and said, come on.
I agree.
Yeah,
I agree. Totally. It's something like a 2021 inclusionary ska punk. Like, hey, this is for everybody. Like, we're here on the internet. You can get on this message and you can be yourself. And
Well, and I think it's the thing. I feel like ska has been kind of like a fun thing for like Generation Zoomers to like.
Yeah.
Like, oh, what's this weird thing? Hey, we can make memes out of this. There's
Yeah.
checkerboards. I don't know anything about ska, but I'm just gonna throw checkerboards on things.
had a whole article about that.
Right.
Yeah.
in the same way that like in the 2000s we felt about like 80s music. We're like, I don't know what's going on here, but this is kind of
absolutely.
because by the way that was 20 years ago.
Yes.
Just so you know.
Yeah, I feel you.
He knows.
But I guess what I'm saying is like We Are the Union took that fan base and said like, come on,
Yeah.
bring it in.
Yeah.
We are here for
Come
you.
to our loving arms.
You're gonna like what we are playing musically, but ideologically and intellectually, and in terms of inclusion, we are here for you also.
So what I'm actually noticing off the bat before we continue with the honorable mentions, because I'd like to nail this down. Was there any overlap between the three of us?
I think there was, but
Yeah, I said
but you
free
kicked-
throw Bronx, and every time.
Yeah,
I
but his
die.
free throw was not on his list.
No, I know. There wasn't 3 for 3, but
I
there was
think there's
overlap.
one record that would have been on your list if we had disqualified
For
Red
sure.
City Radio.
Yes. Without a doubt.
It would have been, yeah.
And it was Chris.
Yeah, that's fine.
Weezer?
It's my Weezer. Can we talk about how trash that record?
No, you know what? When we were
I don't
talking
want
about
to
like,
waste a
Can I
breath.
grab that?
I want to waste a breath. When you wrote like things that surprised us and stuff like that, I thought it was a little bit more open.
It is more open.
What surprised me is how much I didn't like that Weezer record.
Well, let's. Well, I want to talk. We'll get to the. What's the part of the book that's after the main story?
Epilogue?
Epilogue. We'll get to the epilogue of this episode, which is our. If Red City Radio was not on my list, it would be Every Time I Die,
Yeah, sure.
without a doubt.
Yeah, so then
I
there
know.
wasn't.
So I'm comfortable making Every Time I Die record of the year
For Rock and Roll Brunch.
for Rock and Roll Brunch.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right.
Yeah,
It's settled.
Agreed.
It's settled. Gentlemen.
A gentleman's agreement. Get a new phone.
Every Time I Die, Radical. Very nice.
Oh,
Not what I picked.
I know, probably not, but you know, I got it right.
I said free throw was what was my.
Oh, you
Would
thought.
you
I
like-
thought he would. I thought he.
I'm
he
ready to
complained
talk.
about
I'm
that?
ready to talk about free throw.
Okay, well let's. If it was, I want to talk about this for a second, but congratulations! Every Time I Die, you made our list.
Can you
You get all the.
something happen?
Oh no! See, this is what happened to me.
Yeah.
Maybe somebody tried calling me or something.
We're back. Congratulations! Every Time I Die,
Nice.
you made our record of the
Gotcha.
year. We should let them know and give them the award.
Yeah. They got some time on
And
their hands now.
and the famous award is. Make it up right now.
Oh,
Coffee.
Pot of coffee.
Pot of coffee.
Pot of coffee.
No,
Yeah.
a pound.
A
Let's just
pound?
buy them.
A pound of
Let's just
coffee?
mail it to their PO box.
And one cooked pancake.
Yeah, obviously.
It'll just
Soggy.
No, in
Congratulations.
the envelope, it'll just leave a big stain.
A greasy stain.
A
Or
big
like in a
moisture
Ziploc
mark.
baggie, you know. My honorable mention for the year was going to be either Every Time I Die or, to be honest, Sincere Engineer.
Yeah, nice.
One of those bands that, like, I everything you said and more. I'm rooting for them. I'm excited for their future. I think they're awesome, and I completely surprised me. I was ready to go like, what is this? Especially because I started on track 2 somehow. It's completely surprised me for a record, and something I keep coming back to. And every time I hear like I've been like giving my kids baths and been like,
Yeah, right.
you know what I mean? Like I'm like, oh, so good. Anyway, continue.
No one's gonna make fun
No,
of-
I was gonna.
Yeah.
I just needed.
Yeah,
to know.
just me?
No, I was gonna. No, it's another Kyle Luffel. That's
Yeah.
right.
I'm not explaining the part.
You just.
I'm telling
He
you which
did
parts
play-
in my head.
You sang and played drums, which was great. So I
But-
love that.
thank you.
My honorable mentions, really quick, is I think that Red City Radio would have been my album of the year last year. You know.
Okay.
And I also, but I disqualified it for very obvious reasons. I thought one of the records that, like, I keep thinking about a lot, and I go back to periodically, is Harker's. And,
Harker, yeah.
And so I've been thinking a lot about. So that's another honorable mention. When I think about like bands that are kind of a hybrid of like a few different styles, I keep going back to like I like heavy and I like emo. And
Yes,
these two
honest
things
to God.
don't come together as often as they could in the way that they do it. And so yeah.
I've had people who listen to this show come to me and be like, I would have never listened to Harker before, and I really loved it, and I was totally surprised by it.
So props to them too, because
Yeah.
that was a fun surprise album for me this year.
Yeah.
Fun discovery.
I can't believe no one picked up We Were Sharks.
No, I'm sorry.
When you said "We Are the Union," in my brain you went "We Are Sharks," and I was like, "Come on, not for the year,
Not one of my favorite records we reviewed.
not for the year."
I haven't really gone back to it since, except for that one song.
Or the Offspring guys.
Well,
You know,
definitely,
that was on the
and-
list.
And I definitely think the Offspring and Weezer were two records like some of those Weezer songs were good, but they weren't really the way I like Weezer.
It's the epilogue. Is this the epilogue?
And the Offspring. Can I tell you a problem I have with the Offspring?
Yeah, we're in the epilogue.
Josh Freese,
Yeah.
who plays drums for
On everything?
Yeah, obviously. But I came to love him as a drummer for the Vandals.
Yeah.
has been playing shows with the Offspring a ton, and I think recorded some of the songs.
Yeah.
Yeah, because there's money involved with that.
Yes, but check it out. I think he recorded on the only songs I liked.
Yeah, that's
Funny.
So I'm pretty sure the only reason I liked them might have been the subconscious, like, Josh Freese thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
adding
It
his
just
flavor
tells
to
you
it.
just like Josh Freese.
Yeah, I don't know. It's interesting. But, you know, since then, I also went and bought Ixnay and the Ombre.
Was it,
on
didn't you
vinyl,
also?
And I've been listening to a lot of older
You
Offspring.
said that he drummed for who before that?
The Vandals. Well,
Yeah,
he's
okay. I thought.
the Vandals, but he's also, like, in A Perfect Circle and Devo.
There was
and,
some.
like,
There's some other.
who else did he go and
there
play
was,
with?
There's
Dave
some other.
Navarro, Jane's Addiction,
Jane's
or
Addiction.
something crazy like that.
He's been on a ton of.
Didn't he?
different
Didn't he do a little Bad Religion too?
No.
No,
Wasn't that in the
not
book?
Josh
Are you
Free. Maybe he
sure?
might have.
I thought he was
played
mentioned
a,
in the book.
Maybe it was mentioned in the book.
I don't know, but he might have also played. I don't know.
Anyway.
He's kind of like a
He's
punk rock
yeah.
ringer, you know. He like comes in and plays.
Yeah, he gets called in for.
He's the real Travis Barker. We were gonna argue about something.
I want to talk about Free Throw for a moment
We can.
because here's my. I knew that this was gonna be an album that we're all gonna be like thumbs up about.
No, you should have said, I knew this was going to happen.
Listen.
Well, no. Like, I knew you guys really liked the album. And that's why I listened to it on the way here. I was like, why did this album completely fall to the wayside for me? And because I liked it. You know what I mean? Like, when you were like, it to me, it's as emo as an album can get.
Yeah.
But there's something about it that feels like, do you remember we like, when like the older like version of Rock and Roll Brunch, we're reviewing some really super poppy punk bands like I Call Fives and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's because we were playing shows with them.
Sure.
Dangerous
yeah.
Summer.
Yeah,
I
we
Call
were,
Fives.
but we you know, musically, I think we were leaning a little more in that direction anyway. I think, like, what was it called? Like, what is it called? Easycore was just starting to become a thing, and nobody had called it that yet. But it was like pop punk was like a thing that was evolving a bit.
Okay.
I feel like this record, like I'll be listening to it, like Free Throw. I'll be listening to it and jamming it and enjoying it, and I'll be bobbing my head and I'll be like, this isn't the thing I was just enjoying, and it would slip very like easily into something that like I don't hate, but that doesn't move me quite in the same way. So it had this really weird way of like shape shifting right from underneath me to like this like twinkly, jangly kind
All
of
things you like.
right.
I was just about to say, it sounds like something I would shift into stuff that I would. Anyway.
Well, but into the kind of pop punk that I don't like as much anymore. Like into the kind of pop punk that where it's just a sort of like whiny vocals, kind of generic, kind of like a generic groove behind it, and then it would snap back into more of like the jangly emo thing that I really like, and it would kind of shapeshift back and forth to the point where I was like, I'd be in the middle of a song and be like, I don't really like this song, and then I go to the next song and be like, oh, I like this one, and then by the end of that song I'd be like, wait, is this the same song I liked at the beginning?
I can say that the reason I like them so much is almost that exact reason.
I would say
which
the
is
same thing,
which is basically
actually.
which is
Which is
basically
part
going,
of what
I like
surprises
these I like these two different things, and every song that they write is from my perspective is a well-written song and takes up all of the space.
And
there's no
yeah.
room for anything else in those songs, and they actually stay together and are super cohesive. Sometimes when you
And-
put all this stuff in a song, like
And
it
I'm
doesn't end up
here
being yeah.
to be that really irrational critic that says, like, for some reason, like with Sincere Engineer, like two kind of things side by side.
Yeah, I was gonna
work
say
really well for me.
when you were explaining that,
When we're talking about Harker, two things side by side.
Yeah,
When we're talking about the Bronx, two things
it
side
just
by
didn't
side.
do it.
They
You
work
know-
for
You
me.
know what's interesting about? I feel like your taste in music, and I'm going to tell you about.
Oh,
Your taste
I'm
in
sure
music.
you
Tell him
will.
why he's wrong,
Yeah,
man.
tell
Yeah,
me.
I think you like the difference in my mind between Free Throw and Sincere Engineer is like Sincere's not as polished as Free Throw,
That's exactly right.
and I think you like a little dirtier production. You
Yeah.
like
Okay,
a little dirtier.
so here's the thing that happened. On my way here, I put on. I was listening to Sincere Engineer and Free Throw, and then I put on the Bronx right at the end. Okay, the difference in the sound
Sure.
between
of course.
Free Throw
Of
and
course.
the Bronx. Two arguably, like, Free Throw is kind of a smaller but up and coming pretty band.
Yeah.
The Bronx are kind of a huge band and
in the genre,
and
Very established.
put those two together, the sound quality is significantly different.
Sure.
The Bronx, like, we talked, I know when we reviewed that record, about how much we like the guitar tone. And we like
The drums and
right?
guitar in that record is like so.
The guitar's
punch
Guys,
you face,
just
punch
listen
your
to
face.
those two artists side by side on your way home, and you will hear like, oh, this Bronx record doesn't sound good.
Yeah.
Compared to Free Throw.
Yeah.
That Free Throw record sounds amazing.
Yeah.
And because of it, like I was listening to songs and there'd be like
Too
one
much
little
for you.
psh, like of a tambourine. Like just one little psh, like
Now we've
on
all
the
done
three of like every
Now we've
other.
all done
Thanks, Kyle.
Yeah, for sure. Do you know what I mean though? It's like there would be like these little accents that I didn't catch the first time we recorded it, and I was like, really? And something about just all that clarity didn't feel. It took away. And I don't like that because I like good sounding recordings.
It's so odd to me that
That is, yeah. Like
yeah. I don't know what it is.
You know what
about
it is too, and again, I really like the Free Throw record, but I didn't go back to it once after we reviewed it. Not one time.
Is there? So let me ask you a question. If you're listening to music and it's like too clean, and I don't mean clean as in tone, or I mean if it's too polished, does it turn you off?
No, because he
Video
likes.
stopped again.
God damn it!
I like.
Hold on, make
polish,
sure no
man.
one's calling me.
I wouldn't. There's no way to know.
Yeah, it would show up as missed call.
I'm gonna let you
It would
try for a
I just
second.
want to make sure no one's calling. I don't know why it's stopping.
You blame
The
me.
battery thing.
No, it's,
No. Do you have space? Do you have enough space on your
Yeah,
phone?
of course.
God damn it. That's okay.
It's gonna make it so
He
miserable.
blames me when it happens.
That's fine. I get it.
I just wanted to make sure Amanda wasn't calling me.
We're wrapping this thing up anyway.
I know. I guess what I'm saying is like I like polished recording. I like the kind of thing.
I can't put you down. I can't.
You like Enema of the State?
I sure do. Although looking back on that one, that's got a flavor and a color to it that is polished, but it also like feels like all the pieces fit together. I don't know how to explain it. It's weird because I've been trying to get to the bottom of like why Free Throw has had no staying power, and at the end of the day, I keep leaning back towards it slips into a kind of pop punk without me noticing, to the point where I'm like, oh, maybe I don't like this song as much.
What's interesting about it is that you almost want it to be a record you like,
I do.
which
Yeah,
is
it's like
funny.
he's
I
rooting
really
for
do.
it, but you know what I find interesting? What we should do? Let's take these 20 episodes
Yeah.
and let's clock how much Dane talks,
Oh.
and then how much you talk and how much I talk.
No, I know I talk
And let's
too
and let's
much.
just rename the show
To
to
Dane's,
like
Dane's Brunch?
Dane's
Rock and Dane's Brunch.
like Bobby's World.
Yeah.
Remember the show Bobby's World?
Oh, yeah.
You guys
with the
can
mom.
just
But,
tell
like-
me you can like non-verbally be like,
You're done. No,
I'm sorry.
That's fine. It's fine. I'm just giving shit. You're helping me better define, because I feel like I know Chris's style more. I know what he's gonna like. I know what he's not gonna like.
I like
Yeah,
ear candy.
And
If
despite
it doesn't matter what genre
despite
it's
my
in.
pleading, I'm like, you have to love.
But-
you have to love Dirty Nil.
I still.
You called.
I
me.
still called
You
him.
called.
Yeah,
me.
you called.
Okay.
Still called him.
Congratulations
Thank you.
every time I die.
Oh, I thought you were
for the big winner.
congratulating me for guessing it right. I was like,
You did.
Good.
Okay.
You're
All right.
welcome.
Congratulations.
You're welcome, yeah.
Credit.
Well,
Credit.
all right.
Credit due where it is deserved. All right. Well, let's bring this Dane train to the station. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's gonna do it. Well, go ahead.
bring this gravy train to the station.
Hold on.
He's got a gravy train.
That might be the new thing. That might be the new thing. All right, well, let's do it. Let's. Allie recently explained that sometimes when I talk, it's very explosive, and I'm very conscious of that now. So I'm trying to like even out my.
Sure.
Dane.
Nothing changes a person's
Then the
like
criticisms
criticism
from
of
your
a
wife.
Yeah, exactly.
Dane, where can people find what you're up to?
jetsam-flotsam.bandcamp.com.
Yeah. Anything big you want to talk about?
We are in the process of releasing another EP by the band Broken Field Runner.
Dane just put out what I would argue is the best song Dane's ever released.
Yeah, I think it's
By
a great
Broken
song.
Field
I would agree
Runner.
with that. Yeah.
And there's
Talk
a-
about ear candy. That
Yeah.
song is humongous.
The rest of the EP is really good too.
Yeah.
And they're all ear candy.
Yeah.
Yeah. It'll be coming out in March though, so we're like doing the like rolling out one single a month kind of thing as a way of dealing with Spotify.
That's the way to do it. That's the way. I mean, literally, it's
unfortunate,
exactly
'cause I
what we
hate it,
talked
but
about.
it is.
Chris, where can people find what you're up to?
The Throwback Chicago. This episode won't be up by the time.
No.
We're doing a live stream.
But you can catch it later.
When is that?
Thursday.
What kind of live stream are we doing?
All Beach Boys, and we've confused a number of older people on the
Yes.
internet that are likely expecting something that.
Do you like Beach Boys? Yeah. Do you like punk rock? Sure. Do you like both things?
Definitely not.
No.
Not. Gary's a little confused on where he can sign up for the show, these kinds of things.
If-
But
if it's-
thethrowbackchicago.com.
After the show, is there a good place where people can check out that live stream?
Yeah, hashtag facebook.com/thethrowbackchicago.
You guys have been creating content for too long about this particular thing. They're like, where can you go after the show to find it? Well, actually,
I'm glad you
that's
asked.
where.
I'm glad you asked.
I'm glad you asked.
It's like a real like Smothers Brothers, like. The one thing I forgot to mention too is any listener out there, if you have a favorite record for the year that you just enjoyed, or if you have a favorite record that we reviewed that you want to hop in on and tell us how wrong Dane is or how wrong I am, please do let us
Notice
know.
Chris is not.
I
Let
like
us know.
how he went right to me.
Yeah,
What the
you're
heck?
dead
Now, I mean, we spent 20 minutes on free throw and how wrong you are. So.
That guy is dead wrong.
It's fine. It's all good. For me, it's right here, Rock and Roll Brunch. You can find us on Instagram. You can find us on YouTube. Every show is posted. This one is going to be a little choppy. But
Not great.
I think our waitress just looked at us and was like, they're still here.
Those guys?
You can also email us at rockandrollbrunch@gmail.com. And
Don't say it too loud.
for me, for Dane, for Chris, why don't you go ahead and...
I had to do it last time.
Did you did?
Yeah,
No.
remember at Denny's?
If I could get the check. The check, please.
It's embarrassing.
It's embarrassing. So,